go. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Here we are. We are talking about one of my favorite topics, which is how to change a relationship to those who won't change. Some of you may have heard me say this many times before. I've written this quote, I've posted it on Instagram before, and you've probably heard me say it here or in lots of workshops or IG lives or whatever, but here it is again, because we can't hear it enough. You cannot change other people. What you change is the way that you relate to them not changing. I'll say it again because it probably just needs to, get integrated over and over and over again. You cannot change other people. What you change is the way that you relate to them not changing. Just let's make a little bit of space for that. Let that feel like something, even if it feels confronting and even if it doesn't feel great, even if you eye roll at it, even if you're like, come on, I thought you were going to tell me that we can change other people, right? But just like, let that rattle around for a moment. Let's, you and I, get acquainted here. Who here has ever wanted to change someone else? Hands up. Put it in the comments section because it's all of us. We are in this together because it is a human experience for sure, right? We've been there. It reminds me of the breakup with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. Do you guys know the scene where she's like, I want you to want to buy the lemons? No. I want you to want to get them. Yes. So I hear that and I understand that. So, okay. When we say change here, what we mean is it could mean getting a parent to understand something about how you feel or your perspective. Maybe it's trying to get a partner to stop drinking. Maybe it's convincing a friend that their patterns in partner selection are unhealthy, right? This list can be endless. So I'd love for you guys to take a moment to bring into focus one area in your life where you've been trying to change someone else. And just see it. Just be clear with it, right? Who is it? And what do you want to change? Just name it. So let's just take a few moments here to name a few reasons why we want to change other people. So one is we want to feel understood, right? If I can get you to understand my perspective, then I will feel better. I'll feel validated. I know you care about me. I'll be okay. Just simply put, right? So one of the reasons is we want to feel understood. We want somebody else to change because if they do, we will matter, right? That's the second one, right? If I can get you to change, then I will know that I am important enough to you to get you to make this change. And this is a common one, especially in, if you grew up with addiction in your family system, really common, right? When there's a priority over you, whether it's the drugs, the alcohol, the gambling, like anything else, right? That is so much more significantly important that feels that way to that person than you, right? So if I can get you to change, then that will be the thing that lets me know that I matter. Right? I'm important enough, I'm worthy enough, I'm good enough for you to make this change. The third, we think we know the better path for them. We see things more clearly than they do. So, okay, sometimes that actually might be true, and sometimes it's not true, right? But that might be one of the reasons that we want somebody else to change. We can see them in something that's unhealthy. We can see it's dysfunctional for them. We can see that it's hurtful, harmful to them. And we're like, come on, put the clear glasses on, see what it is that you're doing to yourself. And so again, sometimes that's true. And sometimes we think we know better, and we don't. Right. So it could be, or it might not be, but that's also one of the reasons why we press for it, why we want to change other people. And then the fourth one that I've listed here is that we're confronted by the alternative. We want somebody else to change because if they can change, then we don't have to deal with what the alternative is. That the alternative might be that you stay unhealthy, right? That the alternative might mean that in extreme cases, right, like you might be killing yourself, right, by the choices that you're making, right? The alternative might be that I no longer can be in relationship with you. And maybe that looks like ending a partnership, going towards divorce, Maybe it means feeling cut off, being cut off from someone, from a parent, from somebody who you really care about and wish you could have a relationship with. We force this issue, we push it, and sometimes we push it for very good reason. And also, right, the alternatives are the things that are so confronting for us because we don't want to have to face that. That stuff, all the stuff that I just listed, all the stuff that you are all naming and feeling and knowing to be true, that stuff is awful. It's awful. It's terrible. We don't want to face it. And so we stay so committed to trying to make other people change and create that change. I get asked the question, how do I get my partner, my parent, whomever, to understand me, to change? And sometimes the answer might be that we find new ways of bringing things forward. We notice the way that we say things, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say that most of the time, the answer is that we don't. Ooh, and that's a confronting answer. We don't. We don't get them to. Just want you to tune in and just like feel what that's like to hear that. And then we're just going to do a prompt series here. And it's just you flowing. So you don't overthink it. I'm going to say something and then you're going to respond to yourself. You're going to write it if you want to, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You can close your eyes. You can keep your eyes open. You can put your feet on the ground. You can put your feet up. Whatever it is that feels comfortable for you. You know you. I don't know you. So you take the best care of yourself as you possibly can. All right? We just flow. You can't overthink it. Just let it come. Okay? All right. The person I wish I could change something about is. The person I wish I could change something about is. Don't overthink it. Just name it. Let's go. What I wish would change is. What I wish would change is. Just name it. I want that to change because. I want that to change because. It not changing feels. It not changing feels. If it never changes, what I'm afraid of is. If it never changes, what I'm afraid of is. How that would change our relationship is. How that would change our relationship is. Accepting what is means. Accepting what is means. That feels confronting because. That feels confronting because. What would have to shift about our dynamic is. What would have to shift about our dynamic is. What I would have to shift about myself is. What I would have to shift about myself is. Naming that feels. Naming that feels. All right. Take a moment. Check in. How are we? Tell me. How are we? What's coming up there? How are we feeling? How's the heart? How's the body? How's the mind? Just a quick little check-in here. Because when we do these prompts, sometimes stuff just comes up for us and activates. So part of changing the way we relate to those who won't change requires us to acknowledge ourselves and the emotion that it brings forward, what it is we're doing right now. This might be a relationship that you've been in for decades. You know, maybe it's with a parent, a partner you've been with for a very long time or not, right? But the point is that like there's a history here. There might be a really, really long history here. And so coming to this can feel like a lot. And so we have to spend time acknowledging the self. The next part is to spend time grieving, right? Is that being in this process, it doesn't just leave or happen once, right? It comes and it goes and it comes and it goes and it comes and it goes. And as you let go of expectations and as you let go of the fantasy of what you wish that this relationship could be and what it could look like, right? There's going to be loss that you feel, right? We're shedding things in that space. The next is notice the difference between hopefulness that is expansive and hopefulness that keeps us in patterns that are unhealthy. It's important. This is a reminder that we have to come back to. And great, you're getting it from me today, right now, but you also need to be able to give it to yourselves at times, right? And so we need to know that difference between hopefulness that serves something really beautiful and then hopefulness that is, disguised and keeps us stuck in unhealthy patterns. Well, if I just keep hoping that they will change when they've communicated that they're not going to, they can't, they won't, there's blocks there. That is something that we need to listen to. The next is choose how you want to be in relationship with that person. Just because they won't change doesn't mean that you can't have any type of relationship with them. It may mean that for some, but for others, you might be able to create your own boundaries, your own expectations, reminders, limitations around the dynamic. But this is for you to figure out, right? It's like, how can I be in relationship with you if this is how it's going to be? If I'm accepting you as you are in this space, whether I like it, don't like it, agree with it, disagree with it, all the things, right? If I see you as you are right now, how can I be in relationship with you this way? And then the last piece that we're going to present today is enlisting help. Sometimes we can do that from others, where if you have a partner or a friend, someone who can be a really good source of reminder for you of what it is that you know. If you have a partner, when you go and spend time with a parent, for example, who can remind you, who can be in your corner, a friend who can be on call for you at times when you know you might be in an activated space or, triggering space. Or if we don't have that, right, then maybe we set reminders. For example, changing the name of the person on your phone to the reminder. I once did that, and it was very, very helpful, right? Of the reminder of how this person is going to show up, what I need to be reminded of before I even have this conversation. So in text message, or if the call comes in, or there's a voicemail that's left, there's my reminder, right? So those are some things that can be supportive for us as we navigate this very thin line that feels so raw and emotional for us. You guys down for one last prompt series here? Same thing as before. Don't overthink it. Just flow. Be in your body. Notice, notice, notice. Pause if you need to. Take good care. Surrendering means what I believe it might be teaching me is, I know sometimes we eye roll at it. Why always a lesson? But what I believe it might be teaching me is the emotion that leaves me with is, right? The emotion that leaves me with is being with that emotion feels. Being with that emotion feels. I try to avoid that because, I try to avoid that because I don't like this. Yeah. If I could start making room for it, though, if I could start making more room for it, accepting our relationship as it is means accepting our relationship as it is means what it doesn't mean, though, is that's an important one. That's an important reminder for me because the choice I have here is acknowledging that feels. Okay. Last little check-in here. How's the heart? How's the body? How's the mind? I cannot change the other person. What I change is the way that I relate to them not changing. It needs to exist inside of me. That is where the peace is. Anytime it tries to be outside of us, that's where the suffering is, right? That's where the pain is. That's where the friction is. That's where the tension is. That's where the turmoil is, right? Peace can happen internally for us when we let go, accept, even when it is the most grueling, gut-wrenching, sad, awful, terrible, painful thing. They're on their path. They're on their course. They have to choose for themselves. Even if that means that there are consequences that are so hard for us to face and be with. Whew. And it doesn't change that you might feel sad. It doesn't change that you might be hurt, right? But how you relate to them not changing, right? How you respond to it, what you do energetically, right? That's the thing that you have control over. All right, my beautiful people. High five. So good. Yes, yes, yes. We did some work in this session. What? Isn't it cool that we don't even have to be in like actual conversation and we can still do some work? This is good. Okay, do me a favor. Screenshot. Go ahead, do it right now. I will smile. You can get a good shot of me. Do it, grab it, post it, something that you learned. And so if this was good for you, let's just pay it forward for somebody else, please, please, please. So grab the photo, go to Instagram, hit me up, Mindful MFT as in Marriage Family Therapy, tag me, I'll repost it and let everybody know why they should listen to this session. Okay? All right. I'm back Tuesdays, Thursdays. You know the gig, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I will see you there. Bring a friend. Okay. Much love to you. I hope it's loving and relaxing and everything that you need it to be. Okay. See you soon. Bye.